What does it mean to be a man of substance as you age? Is it the wealth you've accumulated, the power you wield, or the youth you try to cling to? No. A man's worth is not measured by the fleeting things of the world. It is defined by his mastery of himself, his ability to remain unshaken in the face of time, his capacity to command respect without demanding it, and his unwavering presence in a world obsessed with distraction. Aging is not a curse, it is a revelation. With each year, a man has the opportunity to strip away the illusions of youth and step into the quiet strength of experience. The Stoics understood that the external, status, beauty, fortune, are all subject to change. What remains, what truly matters, is the internal: character, wisdom, discipline. A man who embraces this truth becomes magnetic, not because he chases validation, but because he no longer needs it. Younger men may seek attention through bravado, through displays of power, through competition. But an older man, one who has walked through fire and emerged tempered by hardship, understands the greatest strength is not in force, but in presence. He does not talk about his worth, he embodies it. He does not seek to impress, he simply is. And that is why he stands out. Women, whether they realize it or not, are drawn to a man who possesses this rare quality, this quiet confidence, this centered existence. Not because he follows trends or says the right things, but because he is immovable in who he is. He does not attempt to be something he is not. He does not try to be younger, wealthier, or more agreeable. He simply moves through life with the kind of assurance that only comes from understanding that nothing external defines him. In a world obsessed with fleeting pleasure and shallow attraction, the man who cultivates himself, his mind, his values, his discipline, becomes a rare and sought-after presence. But the question is, are you becoming that man? Are you walking the path of mastery, or are you still chasing approval? The difference between an old man forgotten and an older man revered lies in the choice to embrace self-mastery. Those who understand this truth will shape their own destiny. Those who do not will remain at the mercy of time. Authenticity over pretense, the power of radical self-acceptance. A man who lives in pretense is a man at war with himself. He bends, he shifts, he molds his personality to fit expectations that are not his own. And for what? To impress? To be liked? To hold on to something that was never truly his? This is not the way of a man who understands his worth. A Stoic man embraces radical self-acceptance, not as an excuse for stagnation, but as the foundation for real strength. The world teaches men to hide behind masks, to chase youth, to accumulate symbols of success, to speak in ways that please others. But a man who is truly powerful needs none of these things. His confidence does not come from validation, but from the unshakable knowledge of who he is. He does not seek approval because he has already approved of himself. He does not fear rejection because he does not reject himself. Authenticity is not just attractive, it is magnetic. A man who stands firm in his own skin, who carries himself with quiet certainty, commands respect without asking for it. Women recognize it, men admire it. But most importantly, he lives free. He is not controlled by the opinions of others, nor does he waste his time in pursuit of empty admiration. He knows that real power lies not in pretending to be someone else, but in fully owning who he already is. Emotional intelligence and stability, the anchor in a chaotic world. In a world driven by impulse, where emotions dictate actions and chaos reigns in the minds of men, the Stoic stands unmoved. He is the anchor, the calm within the storm, the man who does not crumble under pressure but thrives within it. Emotional intelligence is not about suppressing feelings, it is about mastering them. It is the ability to recognize anger without letting it consume, to acknowledge fear without allowing it to dictate, and to understand love without becoming enslaved by it. A man who lacks control over his emotions is a man who can be controlled by anything. By the opinions of others, by fleeting desires, by the frustrations of the moment. A Stoic man, however, does not react, he responds. He does not lash out when provoked, nor does he let insecurity guide his decisions. He listens, he observes, and he acts with measured intent. This stability is rare, and that is why it is so powerful. Women are drawn to it because it offers safety in a world of uncertainty. Other men respect it because it speaks to a discipline most lack. But the greatest reward is not external, it is internal. The man who governs himself is free. He is not at the mercy of emotions, but in command of them. And in that command, he finds unshakable peace. The essence of true confidence, leading without seeking validation. True confidence is not loud. It does not demand attention, nor does it seek approval. It exists in the man who moves through life with quiet certainty, unshaken by praise or criticism. The Stoic understands that leadership is not about dominance, but about direction. He does not impose his will to prove his worth. He leads because it is simply who he is. A man who seeks validation is a man who has not yet validated himself. He measures his value by external recognition, adjusting his actions to fit the expectations of others. This is not confidence, it is dependence. True confidence comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and never bending your principles for fleeting approval. It is the unwavering belief that your worth is not something to be given, it is something that simply is. A woman may admire charm, but she respects certainty. She is drawn to the man who does not waver, the man who does not need to be liked, but is nonetheless deeply compelling. Other men follow those who do not demand respect, but command it through action. The world moves for the man who moves forward without needing permission. He does not chase validation, he embodies it. Stability and purpose, the compass that guides a meaningful life. A man without purpose is a ship without a compass, adrift at the mercy of the winds and waves, moving but never arriving. Stability is not about standing still, it is about moving with direction, with a foundation so strong that no storm can shake it. A Stoic man does not seek security in wealth, status, or the fleeting admiration of others. He finds it in his discipline, his principles, and his unbreakable sense of purpose. To live with purpose is to wake each day knowing why you rise. It is to walk a path that is yours alone, undistracted by the noise of the world. Women respect a man who is rooted in something deeper than momentary pleasure. A man whose stability comes not from what he owns, but from what he builds, within himself and in the lives of those he leads. Others may hesitate, waiting for permission to act, but the man of purpose moves forward, not because he is certain of success, but because he knows that to stand still is to decay. The world belongs to the man who knows where he is going, who does not falter in the face of hardship, and who finds meaning not in comfort, but in the pursuit of something greater than himself. Stability is not found in avoiding hardship, it is forged through overcoming it. Purpose is not discovered, it is chosen every single day, creating meaningful moments, depth over superficiality. Life is not measured by the number of days we live, but by the depth of the moments we create. A man ruled by impulse chases temporary thrills, mistaking excess for meaning, mistaking noise for substance. But a Stoic man understands that the most powerful moments are not found in extravagance, but in presence, in intention, in the ability to make even the simplest interaction significant. A meaningful moment is not bought, it is built. It is not the expensive dinner, but the conversation that lingers in her mind long after. It is not the grand gesture, but the way you make her feel, truly seen and understood. Depth is rare in a world obsessed with appearances, and that is precisely why it holds such power. A woman may be impressed by surface-level charm, but she is moved by a man who engages her soul, who challenges her, who makes her feel that being in his presence means more than just passing time. A Stoic does not waste words or moments. He understands that time is the only true currency, and he spends it wisely, on experiences that forge connection, on relationships built on substance rather than convenience, on actions that leave an impact long after he is gone. The man who cultivates depth does not need to chase attention, because those who value what is real will always be drawn to him. Financial stability and discipline, a reflection of self-control. A man who cannot control his finances cannot control his life. Money is not just a tool for survival, it is a reflection of discipline, foresight, and self-respect. A Stoic man does not spend to impress, nor does he live in fear of scarcity. He understands that true wealth is not in excess but in mastery, the ability to provide, to invest, and to walk through life unshaken by financial chaos. Financial stability is not about being rich, it is about being free. A man who is reckless with his resources is reckless with his future. A man who is ruled by impulse, by the need to show off, or by the fear of missing out will always find himself enslaved, either to debt, to anxiety, or to a life dictated by others. A Stoic builds his foundation with purpose, knowing that stability is not just about security, but about the power to act without desperation. Discipline in wealth mirrors discipline in thought. A man who controls his spending controls his desires. A man who invests wisely invests in his own legacy. And a man who values self-sufficiency commands the respect of those around him. Women may be drawn to wealth, but they are truly moved by a man who possesses control. The kind of control that ensures that no matter what life throws at him, he will stand firm, unshaken, and in command of his own fate. The art of intimacy, mastering connection through presence. Intimacy is not about technique, nor is it about physicality alone. It is about presence, the rare and powerful ability to be fully engaged in the moment with another person. A Stoic man understands that true connection is not built through empty words or fleeting passion, but through unwavering attention, deep understanding, and the quiet strength of his presence. In a world where distractions pull people away from each other, being truly present is an art. It is the way a man listens without waiting for his turn to speak. It is how he observes, how he notices the subtle changes in tone, the unspoken words behind the eyes. It is in his patience, in his ability to slow down, to allow intimacy to unfold without force or expectation. A woman does not crave perfection in a man, she craves certainty, the feeling that in his presence she is seen, heard, and valued. Mastering intimacy is mastering self-awareness. A man who is disconnected from himself cannot deeply connect with another. A man who is ruled by ego will always seek validation rather than understanding. But a man who approaches intimacy as an opportunity to give rather than take, to understand rather than impress, becomes unforgettable, not because of what he does, but because of the way he makes another person feel. Presence is rare, presence is powerful, and in the end, presence is what leaves a lasting mark long after words have faded. Long-term attraction comes from depth, not tricks. Attraction that lasts is not built on tricks, tactics, or fleeting charm. It is built on depth, on the substance of a man's character, the way he carries himself, the way he moves through the world with purpose and unwavering self-respect. A Stoic man understands that attraction is not about seeking approval, but about embodying the qualities that make him worthy of admiration. The modern world is filled with shortcuts, quick ways to impress, to gain attention, to manufacture desire. But true attraction does not come from momentary excitement, it comes from something deeper. A woman may be drawn to surface-level qualities at first, but what keeps her interested, what makes her unable to forget a man, is the depth of his mind, the consistency of his actions, and the quiet certainty in the way he lives his life. A man who is whole within himself does not chase validation. He does not rely on external tricks to spark interest, because he knows that what is real does not need to be forced. His confidence comes from his mastery over himself, from his ability to remain steady in the face of uncertainty, from the strength of his convictions. Women respect a man who does not waver, who does not pretend to be more or less than he is. Depth cannot be faked. It is something cultivated through experience, through discipline, through a commitment to living with integrity. A man who has this will never have to prove his worth. He simply is. And that is the kind of attraction that stands the test of time. The path of a Stoic man is not one of fleeting desires or shallow pursuits. It is a life forged through discipline, self-mastery, and an unwavering commitment to something greater than momentary gratification. If you have followed this far, you already understand that true fulfillment does not come from seeking approval or playing games. It comes from within. It is built on authenticity, strength of character, and a relentless pursuit of wisdom. Every decision you make, every action you take, either reinforces your value or diminishes it. There are no shortcuts. No magic words will make a woman respect you. No clever tricks will make your life more meaningful. The only path is through self-discipline, purpose, and the quiet confidence of a man who knows his own worth. Women are drawn to men who live by their principles, who lead with strength yet remain unshaken by external forces. But this journey is not meant to be walked alone. Throughout history, the greatest men have understood the power of a strong brotherhood. Men who hold each other to a higher standard, who challenge each other to grow, who remind each other that greatness is not given, but earned. You are not here to be average. You are here to become the best version of yourself. If this message resonates with you, don't just watch, take action. Like this video to support the movement of strong, disciplined men. Subscribe to Ultimate Stoicism and join a brotherhood committed to mastering life through wisdom and self-control. Turn on notifications so you never miss a lesson that could change your path. And now, I want to hear from you. What Stoic principle has had the biggest impact on your journey? Drop a comment below and let's build a community of men who strive for greatness.